On 7th January 2020, during his first week in office, Saredo village in Garissa County suffered a deadly attack by Somali-based militant Al-Shabaab. At least 4 school-going kids were killed in that tragedy. A week later, on 13th, armed hostiles launched an attack on Kamode village and shot 3 teachers.
So at one point I asked myself, really, am I going to make it? Is this what I was coming for? You know, I even thought of maybe going back to Nairobi because I realized that things were bad.
But the outgoing regional commissioner, Mr.Nic Ndalana, had a mission to restore peace and normalcy in Northeastern after nearly 10 years of insecurity. We had a sit down with the exiting chief, and here is that exclusive.
I had to call my security team. We strategized and we agreed on how to deal with the problem. And I think through our efforts and efforts of others, because you know you cannot fight this war alone. I'll not tell you all the maneuvers that I used, but much of it was involving the locals. Remember the press statement that I gave when I was very fresh here. I said what I noted for the first month when I came here was collusion between the locals and the Al-Shabaabs. And I think after that press statement, of course I was accused for saying so, but later the locals realized that what I was saying was the truth. And I think from then they shied off, and that collusion minimized, went down. And from that time, we were able to get a lot of information. And of course, with that information, we acted promptly because there was a complaint from the locals that they were giving out a lot of information to the police and to other security agencies, but actions were not prompt. So that is an area we decided to perfect. And I think by perfecting that one, we gained confidence of the locals, and they continued giving us information, and I think that's where we are, and we are determined to do it, to take it to better heights than where we were. Remember, here it is not about sitting in the office. You need to go out and talk to wananchi. The latest problem that we are having in Mandera West, all the way to Mandera town, where Al-Shabaab were coming all the way from the borders to Banisa, which is much interior. I decided, against all odds, to go there and hold a baraza. I held like 3 barazas. I talked to the wananchi. I gave them my points, and we agreed that we are going to cooperate. And I think after those meetings where wananchi plainly agreed to cooperate with security agencies, things have improved. So we need to involve. It is not the security alone. You must involve locals. Without locals, the war would not have been won. I'll not say we have won the war. We are very careful, and you know, with terrorism, when you think things are quiet, it's when you can get an attack that you are never anticipated for. So we are careful, and when threats occur, we act and we plan well, we sit. That's one secret. Anytime there's a threat, me and my security team, we sit round table in this office. We plan and we agree. We give ourselves tasks and we know who is to do what. And I think that one has worked very, very well. Of course, with the assistance of other agencies, the military has been very handy. Whenever we call them for a meeting, they come. The other specialized units, whenever we call them in to assist us in areas that there are threats, they come in time or on time. And I think that way we are where we are. And the way I look at things, we even going to make, you know, my vision or my belief at one point, Northeastern region will go to where it was. And I can see that one. It is somewhere in the pipeline. Remember 2008, because I worked here, Northeastern was one of the safest regions in the country.
The land issue. I'm surprised there are guns in Garissa. I mean, someone can just, remove his gun and shoot. It happened several times in Modica, around this area. How do you allow guns to be?
Amsa, I'll say it used to be like so. If those cases are there today, they must be isolated cases. If you listen to me clearly, I said we have teams, and for that matter, specialized teams that are purely dealing with those militias that are being used on land issues. If you go to Modica, Buriburis, those land activities that were thriving in those particular areas have gone down. There were a lot of fencing that was being done on the Modica side, long, big tracts of land being fenced, which was affecting a lot of people. If you go there today, you will realize that those kind of developments have stopped, because those ones were the cause of some of those problems. You remember I held a baraza there. And since I held that baraza there, because I was very categorical on how to deal with anybody found holding an illegal gun. And we have even not achieved our objective. I think we still have a business to deal with, because, as I said, there are some isolated cases, and we need to get rid of those isolated cases, especially now that we are approaching the general elections.
You are familiar and you understand what happens in Northeastern, especially the conflicts and the ethnic conflicts in Mandera, Wajir, Garissa. What is your message to leaders who maybe have that intention to divide people along ethnic lines because, of gaining their interest? Maybe, what is your message to?
One thing I want to tell you before I go to the message, those internal conflicts, clan conflicts in the region, alongside other security areas like ALSHABAAB, you will agree with me, it has improved. Internal conflict has improved. And every time I go to barazas, I tell the locals to maintain the same spirit. The last baraza that I held in Korondile, when I was officially launching the new Korondile sub-count, I remember telling the locals we are approaching towards elections. Currently, we are quiet. I want the same momentum to be maintained, because we are not going to tolerate that. You don't know what I hear develops here towards elections are clan militias. We are keenly watching on that. And we have already set our troops on the ground to particularly deal with those clan militias. And the area where they are perfected with clan militias majorly is in Garissa. Garissa and the Garissa town that are used for various reasons. That one I can assure you we are aware. And we warn the politicians that normally do that. This time around, things will not be as easy as it has been before. Let them do their politics, normal good politics. Try to outwit each other without using force. It is possible, and it can happen. So whoever has those kind of plans, I'm warning them, please refrain from them, because we don't tolerate them. People will be arrested, people will be prosecuted, because that is going against the law, and we will not allow anybody to break the law because of elections. We need peace in this region. This region has a lot of problems. We will not allow people to add us more problems. In fact, now going forward, all our thoughts should be about how to deal with the drought, because the effects of the drought are going to take a long period for everyone to recover and go back to normal life.
Mr. James Kianda will be the man in charge of security docket here in Northeastern from tomorrow. Initially, Mr. Kianda served as a DO, DC in Balambala, and then later County Commissioner, before serving as Nairobi Regional Commissioner.